Es wird eine
She hates me.
What our fans and what our new fans will hear on this next album is exactly what we are. It is the truth. Well, I'd like to point out that we've been in the studio for 2 months, and it has felt like forever because we've been spending lots of time in here. I think the absolute truth is that the songs are just more worked out than on our previous albums. I actually forced the ideas out of myself. You know, I know that we have a lot of fans, and I certainly don't want to disappoint them. So we have tried to give our fans what we, consider to be what the next Typo Negative album should sound like. Is the mic okay? Because I can. Microphone away?
How is the songwriting actually been done on this album? Like, is Peter composing something and presenting it to you, or did you write songs on your own?
No, Peter does all the writing on the album. I think this time it was a little different because as we were going, there was more writing occurring simultaneously as well as more pre-planned stuff.
The next video you're about to see is One Mind from one of my favorite bands, St. Vitus.
I suppose that you were dumped by a girlfriend and that led you to write this album. So what was it like did you memorize certain moments of pain?
Yes, I did also. I mean, I don't just write from my own life. I also take the pain of others. And sometimes if I'm devoid of an idea, I'll just borrow their misery and I'll write about that. That's all we have. I forgot the rest of the words.
Is it that you pull yourself backwards from women and get more protective?
No, actually, the problem, I think, and not just for myself, but for the rest of the band, is that this has become a full-time job, even more than a full-time job, where sometimes we spend up to 20 hours per day working with the band. We just don't have time for girlfriends or even to fulfill some of the other responsibilities we have.
Das ist Scheiße!
And I'd like to introduce a video by...
In the first moment, they sound a little more positive than the last record. Am I wrong as far as that goes?
I think you're correct. I mean, I'm certainly not as angry as I was 5 or 6 years ago, simply because I don't think that I'm the same person that I was. I've certainly grown. I hope up, not down.
Spring will come, the needles strive to struggle to be free from hard ground.
When you were starting with the recordings for this album, was there anything like some commercial pressure you were having, like making this album sound really huge?
I don't think commercial pressure. I think, you know, naturally a band following up a successful album will feel pressured, but not, you know, to go towards any particular sound. I think we still did what we would have done under any circumstances.
I'm getting into it, man.
You changed somehow from like the enfant terrible, whatever, like being really portrayed badly in press, to personality of the year in almost every magazine. What do you think is the reason for that?
I think the open-mindedness of our fans, and I think that once people actually read into my interviews and read into my lyrics that I was not the person that the media had made me out to be. I don't think it's because we're talented or because we're good looking. I think it's just because we're in the right place at the right time. And we generate income for tabloids and for news shows and for anyone else who wants to write about or videotape Type O Negative. When I was a teenager back in the 1940s, one of my favorite bands was AC/DC. This is Highway to Hell. We'll be doing some small headlining shows to try to get intimate with our fans and, you know, try to meet them. When you play these festivals and there's 50 or 100,000 people, you never really get to speak to your fans or to meet them at all. It's just a sea of flesh.
There is no pain like that desire. See no difference between evil and unseen fire. When Prince's spirit beyond the flesh is sexual, the rise of certain death. That's
Always different from Type O Negative on a recording. It's a completely different, it's a different way to paint a picture. You know, just because we can't do, you know, 150 tracks live doesn't mean we're not going to do them in the studio.
The album title, it's tentatively titled October Rust. What's like behind that?
First and foremost, we liked the way the word sounded. October Rust, it has a nice ring to it. What it means to me is leaves falling off of a tree in autumn. I love October, I love autumn, I love the woods. I like to chase women around in the woods. So there are some songs about that as well. And I like when they chase me around too.